always love you. Though you're gone, I can't forget. You're right or wrong, I keep on dreaming. Still I wait with that same old regret. All along I knew I'd lose you. Though I pray that you be true. In your heart, just remember, right or wrong, I'm still in love with you. All right, a little bit of Bob Wills, right or wrong, or actually not Bob Wills. This is actually a much older song. Right or Wrong was originally recorded published about 1921. It was recorded probably for the first time in about 1928 by Tampa Red, blues guitarist, slide guitar player. Emmett Miller had a big hit with it very soon, right around the same time. Not exactly sure when the song was actually written, and can't really attribute it to any one musician, because everybody has played this song. I mean, it's been played in blues, it's been played in old time, certainly Western swing. I mean, it was one of the signature songs of the Bob Wills Texas Playboys, and there's so many versions of it. I love them all. Honestly, I love them all. This is a great song. It's in the key of G, using the cycle of fifths. If I had to pick one, it's going to be a hard choice. I love Emmett Miller, but the Texas Playboys. I mean, come on. Eldon Shamblin on the guitar, and Leon McAuliffe on the slide, and back when they had the horn section and everything, and Tommy Duncan singing, what a phenomenal band. Tiny Moore on mandolin, and then later Johnny Gimbel, and three fiddle players and two drummers and a piano. I mean, that was a serious band. So let's just take a look at it here. Okay, it's just a little different than a lot of songs because it is such an old song. It originated as a show tune, or early vaudeville, medicine shows, minstrel shows, that kind of thing. And so songs back then, especially in the early 20s, mouse getting a little dry here. There we go. So, especially in the early 20s, songs often had this long meandering intro. And that's because it was dialogue between two people on stage. So Emmett Miller is really the only one I could think of that included that in his verses. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, someone makes love to you when I'm gone, that kind of thing. Just kind of Moon and June type rhymes. Yeah. But then the heart of the song, which is what most people play, which is what I just played, is just classic and it's fun to play. But we start on a G chord. Now, when I played it, I started with the good old mandolin chop chord. It's just convenient because when I was playing the break, my finger was left here on the C note. My finger was left here on the B note. There we go. So I just dropped this finger here on the G, and that worked. Later, I used just a standard 3-note G major here. Of course, if you're playing Western swing, you could use more colorful chords. Other than the G, the key note, the one of the song, everything else is a seventh. So instead of playing just G major, you could play G major 7, G7, G6. Any of those options would be just fine. I like the G6 the best. If I was going to pick any of them, I'd probably go with the G6. That's me. But anyway, I just, for convenience, and so you can start understanding chord substitutions, I decided to just go with a G major. Okay, then we're going to the E7, A7, D7, back to G. That's the way the whole song moves, with one or two exceptions. So let's see how this starts out. We start with a G chord. Well, right or wrong, E7, always love you, A7. No, you're gone, D7, I can't forget, G. And maybe right there, I would play around, go from G to G6, or do that old, yeah, something like that. And that's just from major 7, dominant 7, 6, back up, simple. And we're playing a 3-note chord, so, you know, you're only moving one finger around. You know, this is F sharp, F, E, and that's the difference between a major 7, dominant 7, 6. So we sit on that there. Well, right or wrong, I'll keep on dreaming. Back to E7. Though I wake with the same A7. Oh, regret. Now this time we go from the D7 straight up to E7. All along, I knew I'd lose you to A7. Though I prayed that you'd be. And now we got a C7 to B7. I find that to be the easiest way because I want to emphasize the G to the F sharp. Now obviously I could phrase do the same chord right there, but for some reason Dad just, well, I get a lower note down here and it works better in my voice. So how about E7 in your heart? Please just remember G, D7, yeah, now let's look at the break. The break was really very simple and follow the melody. It's so B, B flat, B, C, B, A, E, B, A, G sharp, A, D, A, G, F sharp, E, yep, E, E flat, E, G, F sharp, E, G, no, F sharp. Playing just same notes here. Just another B, E, yeah, that's the way I did the break. Get up speed here. We go. Pretty simple, and it's just really following the melody. And I like you can mix in these bluesy flat notes, you know, and that's what really gives that's what gives the feel to the tune. Is those flat notes that you're adding there, or I guess in this case a G sharp. Or call it an A flat. I don't care what you call it. So anyway. Yeah. Oops. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, it's always easier to play than it is to think it through, right? And then a very signature Bob Wills kind of thing would be put a tag on the end. So I'm like, well, let's see. Yeah, something like that. I just made that up, you know. So have fun with it. And of course I play that E string open. You could easily fret it if that's easier for you, if it sounds better on your mandolin. Just remember that's totally up to your taste. If your mandolin sounds good with open strings, mine has excellent intonation. And so I don't mind hitting open strings. An older instrument, especially an antique instrument, where, you know, maybe there's a little sinkage to the top, maybe the things are just a little off as you get up to scale. You might want to fret the notes as opposed to let something ring open. My mandolin sounds great ringing open. I've had several mandolins that did not. And usually It was not a manufacturer's flaw. It's just time and age and wear on instrument. And I had to learn to, grab that E there as opposed to playing it open. And, your ear will tell you what to do. So, very fun tune. Have fun with this. Be sure to listen to different versions of it and come up with your own. As always, y'all, if you got any questions or comments, email me, Judson at judsoncarroll.com, or leave a question or comment in the question or comment section under the video, and I will get right back with you. Have a great week, and go listen to some good Bob Wills music. Bob Wills, Milton Brown, Hank Penny, even Spade Cooley with all his issues. He had a phenomenal band. Hank Thompson with Merle Travis on guitar. There were Smoky Wood and the Wood Chips. Now, that's a fun band. The WXIT Cowboys. The Tune Wranglers. I could go on forever. This is some of the best music ever recorded, in my opinion. I love Western swing. It's that melding of blues, early jazz, and country all together. And that's where I live in my head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's this music is so foundational to American music. I mean, this is what inspired rock and roll and soul music and so many things. It all starts in like the 1920s with in the rural South with white and black and Indian folk and Mexicans and everybody else all mixed together in the New Orleans and coastal Texas area playing the same music, and very much in North Carolina as well, and Georgia. These guys were from all over the South and in the rural South, and especially in rural communities, there wasn't segregation. Everybody was working together on the farm, and everybody was playing music together, and usually getting together and drinking and having a good time and dancing. And then they went their separate ways on Sunday to their own separate churches. Monday they were right back on the farm working side by side, singing songs together. And I mean, that may not be the narrative that history teaches, but my great-grandfather died in 1980 something, so I got to know him. The other one died in the 1990s. One was born in 1890, the other 1900. I got to hear tales of their childhood in the rural South, on the farms, and I can tell you that what you're taught in school and see on television about the way races got along in the South had nothing to do with reality in most places. I will say in most places, and certainly not in our environment where actually white folks were the minority. That may be one reason we had to get along real well, right? The Lumbee tribe of North Carolina sitting there 50,000 members strong, the far more black folks than white folks, and everybody in a rural community and mixing together quite easily in southeastern North Carolina, where I mostly grew up. I was born in the mountains, but grew up in the coast, moved back to the mountains when I was 15, started following Doc Watson around, and everything comes full circle, right? But just remember, people are people. I mean, the color of your skin doesn't matter. And a musician loves to play music. And so we've always shared that commonality. And that's where American music comes from. Every genre of music in America originates in the American South. And it's the mixture of cultures that brought it about, whether it's Appalachian or African or anything in between. That's American music. I mean, somebody might say, well, hip-hop started in Brooklyn. Yeah, but its roots are in North Carolina with George Clinton and in Georgia with James Brown. I mean, without funk, you don't get to rap and hip-hop. And frankly, I wish we had never gotten to rap and hip-hop. That's not music. Music actually has to be played by a real person with an instrument and sung. It actually has to have melody as well as rhythm. But that's a conversation for another day. Y'all have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.